welcome to Marvel Ception. It's been a while since we did this. My name is Wiley.
My name is Henry, and we just saw, well, not just, but we saw Infinity War.
I saw it Thursday night. We're recording this on Saturday, and I'm still comprehending what happened.
I saw it Friday, and I am also still comprehending what happened. It is, I mean, there's a lot to talk about, so obviously, spoilers.
Yeah. If you're clicked on this not expecting spoilers, I don't know who you are.
Should we get our thoughts out of the way that we can say without spoiling?
Okay.
Watch this movie. It's good.
Yeah, it is good. So let's start off. What are your highlights of the movie? If you were thinking about this movie, what are going to be the first things you think of?
The first things I think. So we're in spoiler territory now, right? We're not.
Yeah, we are.
Spider-Man's death.
Yeah.
My God, that was. I mean, it's the only death I really count as a death with all those fade away dust things at the end, because just I don't want to go, Mr. Stark. He's hugging him, he's crying. Like Tom Holland does an incredible job in that scene.
Even though he's going to die and you know it, it's still believable.
Yeah, because
it's not
believable,
you know he's coming
but it's still
back.
Impactful. Yeah, you know he's coming back, but it's still impactful, and it's the only one of those that's really impactful at all.
I'm just trying to think if there are any other ones that...
The closest one was Groot, and honestly,
Spider-Man was the highlight of those.
It's a distant second. And then, so, let's just go ahead and get the deaths out of the way first. Which ones have done well?
Well, there was 4 that actually happened that we know that are dead.
Loki, which...
I'm sad about.
I'm sad about it. People are going to say that it happened too soon, but at the same time, it really...
I think it happened at the perfect time because it shows how big Thanos is.
And
how
shows
big
Loki
of a threat.
Loki's got a bit more of a journey. Like I said, he was trying to protect his brother and kill Thanos. Yes, there was some self-preservation in there, but ultimately he went out a hero. Heimdall, which he did not deserve that.
He is one of the cool... We talked about it in Marvel Ception that we love him.
He deserved better, I will say.
Yeah.
Then there's Gamora, which... Boo!
Wait, you don't like her?
That was No, I'm booing the death. That was a terrible death.
Like...
He just threw her over a cliff.
People are like... When I've been watching reviews, I've been watching a ton of reviews, and
I have not.
It's very emotional on how she died. And I'm like, to be honest, I didn't really feel anything.
I didn't feel anything,
died.
And that's how I knew it was a bad death. Like that was not a good death at all. I think
in that same scene, we got Red Skull.
Yes, that was amazing.
Yeah, I love
I didn't recognize his voice. Did you?
Either.
Exactly.
It's a different actor.
It is.
Yes,
okay.
it is. It's not Hugo Weaving.
It's not Hugo.
No.
Oh, well,
because he got pissed off at Marvel, so he said he was never going to come back. But
the
guy did an all right
I did not notice that though.
Good.
Because it was such a small. Just like as soon as you see Red Skull, which means I was right. Remember, I think I said in the Captain America episode that he could still be alive.
Yeah, me and you said.
Did we both say? Okay,
I think so.
Yeah.
You guys can go watch it.
Because clearly we didn't.
Yeah. Yeah, we just rewatch those videos just for this. No, I'm just kidding.
And then we have. I'm trying to think. Isn't there another, or is that really just?
No, we got Vision. Vision died.
That was
which I liked when, honestly, I love the part where Thanos literally takes out the throne and takes a piece of his head out, and then he just turns white.
Yeah, he turns gray, just lifeless.
It's super cool.
The thing is, I knew he was going to use the Time Stone as soon as I saw.
Yeah.
I pretty much I was expecting it, and as soon as he actually did die, I thought, okay, Thanos is going to use the Time Stone. And so, but here's the thing: because that was probably of the actual deaths, not counting Spider-Man. That was easily the most emotional. You can see you can see Paul Bettany and
Scarlet Witch,
whoever plays Scarlet Witch,
doing Olivia Olsen.
Olivia Olsen, that's it, and doing a very good job. They really convey all the emotion. Even the I'm not usually a fan of the over dramatic music and it cuts out all the sound and just zooms in on their face. But
Last Jedi.
But surprisingly, this actually did that very well.
Yeah, it did. It did. Some of my highlights, I'll just get out of the way. I have made a statement on how much I love Doctor Strange, and my point was proven even in this movie.
His fight with Thanos on Titan.
Incredible.
Just using all of the magic. Because it's been, Scarlet Witch and Vision say it's been 2 years since Civil War, which I think Doctor Strange take place around the same time as Civil War?
Right? No, because it was after. Wait, it was during.
It was during, because the after credits is Thor. So it's about the same. So it's been about 2 years, give or take, if we're thinking of the timeline correctly. And so he's mastered all of that. He's, of course, had time to grow, and you really get to see him just being the Sorcerer Supreme. I mean, that's
You got to see him in his element and kill it. Like,
Yes.
honestly.
Just cloning himself.
Yeah.
Just with all the tendrils. Spider-Man.
But,
magic. More magic. Magic kick.
I think the main highlight of the whole movie is the Guardians of the Galaxy. I'll just be honest. Each and one of them, just each moment they were in, I felt something. I laughed. I had an enjoyment with them. Again, my favorite is Captain America. He survived. I was worried through the whole movie he was going to die.
He's going to die in the sequel.
Yeah, but
that first scene with him
Yes.
stepping out of the shadows
I was
was
like,
the first.
oh,
Everyone
yes,
in my
man.
theater clapped because,
Yeah.
of course, they did. So,
yeah, I guess he's amazing.
Any more highlights? Just keep.
I would say I really like the chemistry between Thor and Rocket. Rabbit. Yeah, like everything with that was amazing. That was really good. But yeah, those are some of my highlights.
So, starting highlights for me. First of all, Spider-Man's death again, but like the line that means get lost, Squidward.
Yeah.
Just I don't know why. I just laugh at that every time.
It is so good.
And then Thor getting that hammer, and let me explain why.
Yes.
I had said back in, I think it was the first podcast I was on, or at least, yeah, that I hoped he would get the hammer from the Ultimates, which was
that?
it's not like the wood handle, but that is the same. It's the same concept of the axe on one side and the hammer on the other.
Mm-hmm.
It looks slightly different. It's a bit smaller, but still, like, it's bigger than the actual Mjolnir, and so they based that design partially off of Ultimate Mjolnir, and I was so freaking happy. Just to see, I think that was one of the highlights of the movie. The dwarf being a giant was also just ridiculously awesome.
I didn't really like that, to be honest.
Really, I kind of enjoyed it. Was that Peter Dinklage?
Yeah, it was Peter
okay.
Dinklage.
Just wanted to make
It
sure
was
that
Peter
I
Dinklage,
thought it was
which is
yeah.
kind of
It was
funny.
The
He's
Dinklebot.
a midget, and then he becomes this, which is
He becomes this giant. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I really liked. Oh, let's see what else. Crap! The entire fight again on Titan, I think, was
the
just
whole
fun.
movie's a fight.
The
To
whole
be
movie's-
honest,
the whole movie is a fight, and I'm going to get to that in a second because I have some thoughts about that.
Mm-hmm.
The fight on Titan, just all the scenes with Spider-Man in them.
Oh yeah, he was
Because
really good
he
in the
does
movie.
a great, like, anyone who still has doubts about Tom Holland probably won't.
Some people like, oh, Tobey Maguire's the best. I'm like, this kind of
No,
shuts
no.
everyone
like,
up.
Like, Tom Holland is the best Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Now, is Spider-Man 2 still the best Spider-Man movie? You can very strongly argue in favor of that. But you cannot argue for the character because Tom Holland is easily the best
He
one.
embodies him more.
Just any of the little bits of chemistry in the fights, Rocket and Bucky.
Yeah,
How much for the gun? Not for sale. How much for the arm? Oh, I am getting that arm.
It's just everything. Like, I love how they brought everyone's characters and what their motives were into this movie and made it all work.
It did. And so the movie being a fight scene, I think, is kind of where it suffers and where I kind of think I still enjoy some of the other ones more, which is we've built up the characters already. We built up the world. We're going to do as much with them in this as we can, but ultimately this movie is Infinity War, and it is about the Infinity War. It is about the conflict being the biggest one the heroes have ever faced, not so much them. And, that actually, I do get that, and that's fine. They did some good character things, like Scarlet Witch and Vision. Like, I was surprised how much I actually liked seeing them together.
Yeah, and I was really iffy about that. I was like, I don't really want to see that during this movie.
Yeah, it happened in the comics, but it was a bit different because, like, she's supposed to be a bit younger in this, and I was like, this is kind of weird. And then I saw it, and I was like, you know what? I like this.
Yeah.
I like, so they did good character stuff, but ultimately that was a secondary focus. Now, it was like a top secondary focus.
Yeah.
And the conflict itself was awesome.
Like, Thanos. Well, okay, so let's get in this conversation.
Thanos as a villain? I feel like
we're getting into that. Killmonger or Thanos?
Killmonger.
Wow.
Thanos I like him. Don't get me wrong. He's good.
Yeah.
Okay, let me rephrase this. If you actually look at Thanos just as Thanos without all the build up to him, he's fine. He's good. But
true.
Think about this. The real power in Thanos is his presence because we're so afraid of him. Because we know what he can do. And he does all of that. Like, he does live up to what we built him up to be. It's just the fact that part of what we see in him is the build up itself. Now, that ultimately makes it work. But if you really take what Thanos does in this movie, I mean, he doesn't have that much personality. He's an imposing presence, sure.
Well, that's the thing where I disagree, because I really like Thanos because, I love Killmonger. It's the best part of Black Panther. We've already been through this.
We absolutely we are not going over this again.
Yeah. But honestly, I just love.
If the Red Skull came back, Killmonger can. All right.
Yeah. Dude, I wish like Killmonger would have showed up in this. I'd be so happy.
Right.
Because I love Michael B. Jordan. Creed. This is not Creedception. Okay.
Yes. We will do Rockyception at some point.
That would be awesome. Okay.
All right.
But I was thinking, because he had so much this build up, like you said, we are afraid of him. We know what he can do. Again,
you have to admit that's a part of like why everybody
yes.
thinks he's so good, including us. Like, it's not like Black Panther where it was overhyped. It's
yes.
the hype works in his favor because of just how imposing he's already been shown to be.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right.
And I just like, again, there was a moment of hesitation with every single moment that Thanos was in, because he always had to make a decision. There was always something that was leading on. And that factor was the glove. Like, he had all this power in the glove, already with the stones in him where he could have used them. But at most of the times, he didn't really use the stones. You see him use it at certain moments.
Yeah, but he doesn't immediately go just crazy with the power.
Exactly.
And, there are a few theories that I would have about that. One being that he's purposely not doing it. I would say that it's a combination of like emotional and mental blocks.
Yeah.
That and also the gauntlet just not opening up its full power to a user while the user gets acclimated, because hitting like a user with all the power of even 2 Infinity Stones at the same time would be way too much for anyone to handle. So it has to gradually. That's why as the fight progresses on Titan, like he eventually pulls down the moon.
Yeah, which is awesome.
That was awesome. You drop another moon on me, I'm gonna get pissed.
But what my favorite moment is in the show his power is like what lost my mind was like the factor that was like, holy crap, he just did it.
He won.
When Thor hit the axe right in the middle, he says, you should have aimed for the head. And then I was like, oh shit. I was saying that out loud.
He actually did it.
Yeah, he actually did it. I was saying that out loud, and I was like, okay. And then it went to that vision of Gamora.
Yeah, and what I thought very briefly was that Vision had somehow used the Mind Stone to like trick him and trap him in his own mind, like as some last minute plan, which it was not. But going back to Thanos, yes, there's some hesitation. Now, his motivation is kind of stupid. His balance thing.
It makes that's the one problem I have with him is I don't understand it. Why do you want to get rid of all these people?
Equality only works when there's 2 on both sides. I don't know. It's just his. And to be fair, in the comics during the Infinity Gauntlet event, he wanted to date the personification of death by killing enough people to. So it's not like he had a great motivation there. But yes, he is good. I'm just saying that I still think Killmonger was better. I still think there were some other villains that were better.
I think the reason we look at Thanos is he was this top of the chain thing that will bring everyone together. I think
now he's here, and he absolutely. Thanos is a lot like the movie as a whole. Is it the best?
No.
No, but does it live up to the hype? Absolutely.
Yeah. I think what it did is each movie had their own story. They told their stories. And then what they did is they took the best fight scenes and then basically culminated them with all these people having to come fight this one thing, which I think that's what it wanted to be and what it was and what it did great.
Because you get to really see how all the characters have evolved. Particularly looking at Tony. Remember the first Iron Man movie 10 years ago? That's the same guy.
Yeah.
That's the same character. Remember the first Thor movie? That's the same character.
Yeah.
Captain America? Okay, that really is the same character.
Yeah.
But no, he has developed. He has actually changed in one
I love him in this movie, Captain America.
He is so great. He doesn't even have that many lines, but he just has this great even I am Groot.
Yeah.
I am Steve Rogers.
It's just so great because he's you see him running with Black Panther. That was an awesome moment.
The 2 super soldiers leading the charge. You just see him again when he comes out of the shadows and just immediately leads the Secret Avengers team.
Because you know who that is, and you're
oh
shit.
Yes.
Let's talk about the Dark Order. They were really good.
They were good.
They were I don't know anything about them.
Neither. I know about as much as you. I knew that they existed, and that was about it. I don't remember their names. I don't remember.
I was shocked how good they were.
They were actually, I mean, they were very good villains.
They were basically
and like Thanos, their plan didn't make any sense.
They were all these little villains in each movie that were in there that had the same powers, like a Red Skull or a Loki. They have all the same powers.
They sort of matched up to some of the different villains.
Yeah,
but they were just a bit, worse. Worse,
they had no development whatsoever.
No, worse, like more threatening. I mean,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
They're like the slightly bigger versions, or slightly worse. I don't know, but
yeah, like again, I thought they were portrayed really well with not knowing anything, and it made me want to learn more.
Yeah,
I would say
absolutely. I would love to go learn more about them. Thanos, I don't find him that. Can we agree that I don't find him that interesting? Like, he's good. I don't find him interesting.
Yeah, I just don't understand. He wants to do this whole genocide of wiping out these people, but for what? I'm really confused on why he wants to do this.
I mean, they sort of explain it like on some planets he wipes out half the population, and the other half thrives because now they're not like fighting for competition. But if he does that to the whole universe, isn't it like random? So when he wipes out half the universe, he could literally wipe out the populations of entire planets, which goes against his entire. Yeah, that was.
Yeah,
but I mean,
you've actually convinced me. I like Killmonger better. You've actually convinced me on this
because he's really he's good.
Yeah,
but there are better MCU villains. Killmonger, I think, is better. Vulture, even in Homecoming, I think he's better. I even think Ego is better.
Like, if I had to do my villains, it would be Killmonger, Thanos, then Loki. Then we can go and later thought about
do that eventually. We
can
do a list of villains eventually, or just like list of characters.
Yeah,
but so I was trying to think what else there was to talk about. The emotion in this movie, though, was done very well. Except for kind of the end, which we'll get to in a second.
What, the after credit scene?
No, not the after credit. I mean the ending where everybody.
Well, I thought that moment where after it went out the vision and everyone was still there. I was like, okay, what is this? He just snapped. We all know.
Did he destroy the gauntlet? What did they do? And then everybody starts disappearing.
Yeah, I was like, and then he's like, I think it's time. Like Winter Soldier, he's like, I think it's time, Steve Rogers, or something like that. And then he just, I'm like, what the hell is happening?
Yeah,
and then it starts happening.
I have some thoughts about that, and first of all, no, I have some thoughts about that. I'm gonna get to later. The other like parts, emotional moments in this movie, they were done very well for the most part. Like Star-Lord when he's going to shoot Gamora.
Yeah, with
that is. Really, like, that pulls on you.
Yeah.
That, like, because he does it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Thanos makes the gun into bubbles because it's the Guardians part.
Yeah.
The other thing was, like, they did a very good job incorporating the style of all the different things. Like, they have whenever we're in a Guardian scene, even if, like, you just sort of look around the ambiance, I guess, for everything. The background stuff is still a Guardian scene. When we're in Wakanda, it's very Black Panther-esque.
Hey, Wakanda stuff. For never. Honestly, speaking of Black Panther, it comes out Tuesday. So I'm going to watch it again and see what my opinion is. I haven't seen it since I saw it in theaters.
Neither have I, actually. Commentary?
We could, yeah. We
right,
definitely could, because I don't like it the last time I saw it that much, so let's see if it changes.
Yeah, let's see. I think there are still things to like, but I'm honestly not sure.
But like after Infinity War, I would say it made me appreciate Black Panther more.
Yeah, exactly. Like the character and what he can do. Because there is, I really think, at least on the hero side, not a bad character in the MCU.
Yeah.
And that's really impressive.
We never said that, I would say. We never thought it was a bad character. I just think it's not... It's a story that I don't really appreciate that much.
Yeah, and I can understand that. And I really do love looking at this movie and just seeing how far everyone's come. Cap's fighting style, like he's or not his fighting style maybe, but what he's fighting. Like he's fighting aliens now. He was he was just fighting like Hydra and soldiers. Iron Man, he had like that. Remember his first armor back in the first movie, and now he's got the nanotech armor.
Yeah.
Even Spider-Man just kind of being completely out of his depth.
The Iron Spider, finally seen that on him. It's so good.
That is much better than the comic book Iron Spider.
Yeah,
like,
it is.
The comics Iron Spider is not bad. This is way better.
Yeah, it is really, really well made. And I just lost my train of thought.
Yeah, so did I. I like that Scarlet Witch actually does more in this too. Like in the fights. In the fights,
that part they even comment on the movie. Like you're staying there.
Was she up there the whole time?
I was saying in my head, I turned to my friend Cole, I was like, why is she standing up there when she could do all this? And then she finally comes out and they comment on like, well, see? I think everyone was thinking that.
It's not good when your own characters question your decisions as writers.
Yeah. But honestly, this movie's great. Honestly, I have no problems with it. It's just, again, we have a year till the part 2, so we're going to be nitpicking constantly.
And we are going to be nitpicking. So now let's talk about the ending. Here's why I think the ending is a bit cheap, and for one reason.
Mm-hmm.
Because remember when this was supposed to be Infinity War Part 1 and Infinity War Part 2, and then they rebranded it?
Mm-hmm.
So that gives you the impression, even if it's just in the back of your mind, that this will be a generally self-contained movie. That it won't, you know, like obviously there will be a sequel that sort of follows up, but it won't, sort of like Age of Ultron wasn't a sequel to the Avengers. Now, it really should have been Infinity War Parts 1 and 2 because when they said Infinity War Part 1 and Infinity War Part 2, this was actually what I thought would happen. Thanos would win, and the survivors would have to fight him and find some way to undo what he had done. Yeah. It's just that, really, like, that was actually my first theory, and that sort of got thrown out the window.
What if you think, because you go in the dimension of the glass dimension once, but you never see them exit the glass dimension. What if this whole thing was made in the glass dimension and none of this happened because nothing is really affected in the glass dimension? It's a terrible theory, but still. It's a terrible theory.
No, because here's the thing. Remember Doctor Strange doing his meditation and he saw 14 million outcomes?
Yeah,
and
which is amazing.
One of them. So think about this. Before he had his meditation, he said, I will not give Thanos the Time Stone.
Yeah.
But his last words to Tony were, this was the only way. Yeah. So my theory, and it's not even a theory, it's probably this is what happened. This is part of the outcome he saw. This is what they have to do to win, because giving Thanos the Time Stone is somehow going to lead to the only scenario where they win. I
do think Doctor Strange is the most important character in this movie and will continue to the next thing. Doing what he did with the Time Stone and everything, I think there's something there that we're not seeing and we won't see.
Because, you know, he saw whatever the grand plan was. You know, he saw the big picture, and it's going to be kind of interesting to see how that unfolds.
Yeah.
Because the chemistry between Iron Man and Doctor Strange
It's so good. It's so good. Like, I'm like Doctor Strange, like, shut up your bullshit, Iron Man. I don't want to hear it. He's exactly like that, and I love it. And it made me appreciate Doctor Strange even more, even though it's one of my favorite MC movies. Yeah. I think you should rewatch Doctor Strange and maybe give you a different perspective, which I hope it does. I like literally I had to pick one movie to rewatch before Infinity War. I chose Doctor Strange. Yeah, and I'm glad I did because I got that character more. And everything.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with Doctor Strange. It just didn't click with me. So I think that's more personal preference than anything else. So
definitely.
I'll watch it again. Of course. And then all right, let's see. So the ending. I think, you know, this is why some people hated it, because they said that it kind of just destroyed, like, everything.
I think people hating this movie is literally just like, oh, I want to hate something today, let's hate this. Like, honestly, it's one of those movies. Like, it's fine if you hate Black Panther. It's fine if you hate any of the MCU movies.
Even Winter Soldier?
This one has every one of your favorite characters, and it combines it, and you should like it because of that one movie that you love so much.
Also, here's the thing. The hell were you expecting?
Yeah.
There's no way this goes 100% right.
Yeah.
I think, you know, we sort of lost a bit of that in the hype, but even then, if you really thought about it, there was no way this was going to be a perfect movie.
Yeah, well,
they couldn't
24 superheroes, and you have to give them off-screen time.
I mean, like, if this had been a 5-hour-long movie, which I would have been fine with, then yes, they could easily have done that. But
I want to talk about this with you with the future MCU, because we have Ant-Man coming out this year, and we don't know what time it takes place, but I'm thinking in the midst of Infinity War. So, what at the end of Ant-Man and the Wasp, one of them disappears or something? What do you think about that? Do you think that will happen?
I think that it would definitely, like, I don't think it would take place after. That's, you know, for sure.
Yeah.
So it would either be a flashback or it would be during. And so, yeah, actually, that would make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So that would make a lot of sense, one of them disappearing.
Because, like, you have this huge movie and you just do that big thing. Are you really going to downgrade something with the Ant-Man? Like, honestly?
No, you have to have it do during. There's no way it goes after. And then, of course, you have Captain Marvel.
Oh.
Yes.
I love freaking Samuel Jackson, that part. Mother. And disappear.
You almost got to say your signature catchphrase.
Yeah.
You almost got to say your signature catchphrase.
Does he say it in Star Wars?
Of course he doesn't say it in Star Wars.
Okay.
He barely says anything. He just kills Jango Fett and then dies.
I'm just curious because he usually says it in every movie.
No, because he can't. Like, those are the two movies where he can't say it. Like the MCU movies, even though they're the PG-13, they don't do the one F word per movie thing.
Yeah.
And so...
Which, like, okay, I wasn't looking forward to Captain Marvel, but I will say that I kind of am now. Just a tiny bit, but yeah, I'm excited for it.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's, and I wasn't that excited for it, but like even that after credits scene, like Marvel knows how to get you hyped for stuff.
Yeah, which is good. If you don't have that, then boom. Like honestly, I don't think they're doing a great job with marketing Ant-Man and the Wasp right now. I'll be honest.
Really not. I barely have seen
I
anything
love Ant-Man the movie. I'm excited for it, but what about people like my cousin next door or your parents or something?
I'm
like,
kind of excited. I'm not like that excited. I'm gonna go see it and I think it's gonna be good, but I'm not like really excited for
like
it.
Deadpool 2. I am very excited.
I am very excited
because
for that.
like there's Infinity War that was miles ahead before every other movie. I can push that out of the way. I liked it. Good. My number one movie of the year. Next, Maze Runner: Death Cure.
Is that actually your number one movie of the year?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, actually, I know.
There is no other movies that can be even
you're
close
right.
to it.
Yeah, number one movie of the year, definitely.
It's the middle of the year. Summer's about to start. We got Solo still coming out. We have Deadpool 2, Creed 2.
Yes. Does The Incredibles 2 come out this summer too?
Yep, it does.
Yeah.
Soon.
I saw the trailer, so I'm just going to talk about all the trailers I saw, how they affected
me.
We'll
talk about that during the podcast.
Yeah,
we'll talk on the podcast.
Say.
But again, let's give our overall thoughts with this and what would your score out of 10 would be for the film. Do you want to go first so you can think about it for a second?
Yeah, go ahead and go first.
So overall, the characters were very well done for me. Honestly, I couldn't really expect anything. I was on the edge of my seat. But again, I definitely need to see it again because I was too in my head saying it's Captain America to die, which again...
you have to watch this again. This is not a movie you can watch once.
Yeah, and again, I loved it for what it was, and I know I will, and I think I'll even enjoy it even damn more because I was so scared about Captain America. So I was like, okay, boom, because I was like, okay, come on, get that Captain America. But and then nailing Doctor Strange to a T, which how much I love him.
This movie did Doctor Strange better than Doctor Strange did Doctor Strange.
I will agree with that. And I just love how they were like, okay, let's push this guy out of the way until this movie. And then they promised with that. They promised with him being involved and everything. I love everything they did with this movie. If I had to get a score, I would probably give it a 9.5 out of 10 because honestly, there's nothing else. And again, there'll be little nitpicks. So I'm leaving that one space just for that little nitpick spot I can have.
Yeah, I feel like I would give it, I mean, if I'm going by increments of 0.25, 8.75 or 9, like somewhere in that range. Like, because, again, there was just, like, as I look at this movie, I thought, okay, you know what, this movie just didn't pull me in quite like Civil War would have. Or maybe it did, but it did that with all the hype. Like Civil War, Guardians, Ragnarok, Winter Soldier. Like, I did not have that much hype for those movies, and yet they still impacted me just the same, if not more. And, Infinity War didn't do that. But at the same time, this was an amazing experience. I cannot wait for part 2. I want to see how this ends. This was, it's the start of the end of an era, and it was just like, over the last 10 years of my life, I have built up a connection with these movies, and so it was really cool to see. So I'm going to go with 9. I'm going to go with 9.
Would you say the reason you like Civil War more is because it has story and the big action piece?
Yes, I would say it has story and the big action piece. It just has like more stuff that it does with the characters.
Yeah.
It's not just one big fight scene, which, again, this movie, like, it is about the best it could be for one big fight scene. And you can do things well with one big fight scene. The Ultimates 2 is basically just a giant fight, volume 2 of it.
See, like,
here's what I was going to say. Sorry.
Go ahead.
You know what the big problem with this movie is? It's an event comic condensed into a movie. They're trying to take, and the problem with event comics is you can make them as long as you want. Because they're comics, so you can just read a longer comic. But with a movie, you have a certain limit of time, which means you can only fit so many things in there. And it really does feel like, they tried to take, like, an event that deserved its own, like, 12-issue series or something, like something giant.
I have to disagree because, honestly, I felt like in the beginning and for the years they have been doing it, they planned something, they've been playing this out, and I think they did it exactly how they wanted to. And I'm happy with it. Like
they did it how they wanted to. I'm just saying, like, there could have been a bit more character moments, maybe like a bit, more like.
Again, that's why you like Civil War more. See, I'm the other way. I like this movie better than Civil War because this movie has the big actions, and honestly, they're superheroes. I want to see them kick ass, and that's what they did.
Yeah, and there's still plenty of character moments and emotion and story in this, and there's still plenty of like awesome action scenes in Civil War. It's just that
again, it's fresh on our minds. We need to think about where we're going to play this.
We might need to do a like Marvelception Infinity War revisited.
At
some point, we're probably going
to we're going to do that for Black Panther because we are so mixed feelings on that.
Yeah. So overall, we recommend this movie.
Yeah.
I mean, you've already probably
If
seen it.
you've seen it,
You've seen it. Yeah, this is the spoiler. And
if you saw this and you waited, so that happened, I'm gonna go see it now. Then I don't know who you are.
Yeah, don't. That,
just
that
get the
killed
hell
all
out
the
of here.
hype for you.
I don't
That
want you as a fan.
I don't want you. You just lost half your subscribers. All right, see you guys next time when we cover whatever our next Marvel Ception will be.
Yeah, Black Panther and
Black Panther
Ant-Man
again.
But Ant-Man's probably like November. But
Ant-Man
again,
probably November.
yeah.
All right.
And our next thing for a new series that we're doing called Size of the Franchise. Our next one is the Jurassic Park movies.
Not the Jurassic Park movies.
I haven't released those yet.
Oh, you haven't.
And I haven't even edited them yet.
I was gonna say Mission Impossible.
Yeah, but yeah, we're about to do Mission Impossible.
Make the Mission Impossible ones, and he is about to release the Jurassic Park Size of the Franchise.
Tom Cruise time.
All right.
Thank you guys for watching. See you guys next time. Goodbye.